have his teeth done one last time. And the fact is, you have to weigh the pros and cons. And the fact is that, just like in humans, if you have gum disease and things like that, it can really do a number on your health, you know. And I fight to keep him very, very healthy, and that's why he's already outlived the average lifespan of a pug. Okay? The average lifespan is 9 to 12. He's 14 in a month, 2 months. I had a doozy of nightmares. They revolved around my mom. We were someplace, which this would never happen in a million years, because I would never do it, but that's when you have a nightmare, a dream, whatever, they're weird, they don't make sense, okay? But it's obviously an anxiety-induced nightmare, where I had Omar in a cage, in a carrier, like, it was a different kind of carrier than we actually have for him. It's supposed to, I couldn't lock it, right? I had my mom watch it. I said, Mom, all you have to do is stay here and watch this carrier with Omar in it. And in the end, I was somewhere else. That was our only job, just to watch Omar. I was somewhere else, and suddenly I see Omar loose and running around. And I was all upset and whatever. At least he was alive. He could have got hit by a car in the nightmare dream. And she's done similar things to that. So the nightmare, and I'm anxious because he's getting his teeth done, and he's 14 years old, you know. But he's very healthy because I wanted him to be. I kept him as healthy as possible, and I know that animals get fat only because their owners let them. The animal can't get fat on its own, and we have a duty to our pets to not allow them to get obese. You know what I mean? There's no reason to have obese animals. The owners let them get that way. Right? So I've always kept Omar lean. And you know, he's 14 years old. He's old. But this will be the last time I get his teeth done. If I can get to Joe's, everything's, you know. I haven't been brushing Omar's teeth, but it also hasn't been years since I got them done. I just wanted to get them done one last time with this vet who I trust and love and have never had a problem with. And, you know, I love this dog so much, but I can't complain if you know what I mean. He's lived a long life. I cannot complain if something happens to him. I can be sad, but I can't be like, oh, he was taken too soon or whatever. He's fucking 14 years old. He's still healthy. He's blind, but he's healthy. You know what I mean? He doesn't even get the diarrhea anymore now that I give him Dr. Marty's probiotics. I don't know. I've always taken really good care of this dog, and so church woman drove me and Omar early in the morning, and she arranged for me to get a ride in the afternoon, okay? She says to me out of the blue last night, well, can you just ask? But this is how she always is. It's so annoying. I just can't wait to get to Joe's. There's no bullshit between me and Joe. There's no, you know, if I act like an ass or whatever, he calls me on it and I'll apologize. You know, like happened when I'm not going to repeat that story, but when I visited him plus 3+ months, 2013, you know, when my mental illness reared its ugly head, and and I wasn't upfront with him like I should have been, that he'd hurt my feelings, and I gave him the cold shoulder, and he didn't like that, so, but then anyway, I'm not going to go into that story again. The point is, there's no bullshit between me and Joe, okay? Bullshit is this. I'm going to give you an example of bullshit, okay? She says to me, why don't you tell her you have a ride arranged early, and ask if she can take him first? I say to her, no, I'm not going to do that. It doesn't work that way. All right? It doesn't work that way. She goes the order she goes, and that's it, and end of discussion. And then church member goes, well, it can't hurt to ask, whatever. And she's pushing me on the issue, and I said it doesn't work that way. I said, all right, I'll ask, right? But instead of asking early in the morning when we're going at 7 in the morning to drop him off, I called and said to the woman, my friend is saying, I said, I know, I'm just asking to humor. I know that it doesn't work that way. And I told her that, and she didn't take that as an answer. She's like, well, it doesn't hurt to ask, right? So then I told her that I called. She turns around and says, oh, I didn't mean it that way. You didn't need to call. I don't want to have a bad reputation. But they don't even know you when you don't. She's like, I meant, no, you didn't. I didn't want it to seem like you were trying to go first. That is exactly how it seemed to me. You argued with me. But now, not only does she argue with me, it's not arguing, it's pushing me. I said, I don't want to ask that. I don't want to ask if we can be taken first. I don't even want to ask at all. She goes, oh, well, why not? With someone I said, and then I go, with humans, do you do that? You can't choose when you have surgery. Sometimes you can, going to bed. She behaves that way and pushes the issue till I finally say, all right, I'll ask it. It can't hurt to ask. Then, when I get the answer that I told her I would get, because I'm smart and I knew, she turns around and says, oh, I didn't mean it that way. Yes, you did. How else did you mean it? It drives me nuts. She denies what she did. And I said, well, that's how I took it. And she's like, well, that's why I don't like to talk to you. But it is what you were saying, because you didn't drop it. When I said I'm not going to do it, you said it's okay. And then, no, instead of saying, why not? Well, just tell her, And then she denies it. And then she turns around and blames me and says, well, that's why I don't like to talk to you. You take things wrong. No, I did not take things wrong. I was telling you I didn't want to do it. And you were pushing it. What? It doesn't hurt. Why not just ask? So I did it for you, and then when I got the answer I told you I would get, I didn't want to do it in the first place. I didn't want to do it, and you're like, well, why not? Maybe it'll be okay. And I didn't want to do it. And she turns around and says to me today, I wasn't trying to have you go first. Or yes, you were. You're not going to pull the wool over my eyes. I cannot deal with you, okay? You should have dropped it when I said I didn't want to do it. That would have been the end of the session. If I were in her shoes and someone said to me, I don't want to ask my longtime vet if they'll take me first, I would have dropped it. She didn't drop it. So because I'm getting a ride from her and she arranged for me to get a ride from someone else on the way home, I said, all right, I'll ask. And then I ask, and she turns around, you didn't have to. I accepted you at what you said. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You're so full of it. I could never talk to you about anything, okay? I appreciate you giving me rides, and that's the bottom line, She's way too arrogant. I can't tell her anything about anything, even about, the stupidest things. I just can't wait to get to Joe's. I know I keep saying that, but it's true. It's more and more true each day. There's a perfect example of her. It's like, and then she'll deny it. She'll deny what I know that she just did. Because when I said, I don't want to do that, she turned it on me and said, I'm being ridiculous. Why not just, it can't hurt to ask. That's what she said. She's like, why not? With human surgery, sometimes you get sick. But then she turned it around. When I said, I asked, she's like, oh, you didn't have to do that. But you were pushing me to do it. You drive me nuts. I didn't back down, but I just, whatever. She's like, that, and then that's why I don't like to talk to you. Why? Because I'm calling you on your bullshit? The minute I said I don't want to ask her if we can be taken first because I have a ride coming, you pushed me and said, why not? It can't, why not just, you never know, they can do it. Then she denies that she said that to me. And then when I do what she wanted me to do, which was to ask, she turns around and says, oh no, you didn't have to do that. I didn't mean it that way. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Or else you would have dropped it immediately. Like, oh my God. Twilight Zone. Twilight Zone. Twilight Zone. It's like, I can't deal with it. I can't deal with it. And then she even goes further and turns it on me. See, this is, you misunderstood. This is why I don't like to talk to you. I didn't misunderstand. I told you I didn't want to do it. I explained that it didn't work the way you said. Well, it can't hurt to ask. You never know. They might take you first. And then when I brought it up with someone who wasn't the doctor, I just, as casual or whatever. Because even when I was talking to her the night before, I said, well, I'll bring it up casually, but I'm not going to outright ask. Then when I do exactly what she told me to do or asked me to do or pushed me or encouraged me to do, because we have a ride at a certain, it's just whatever, it doesn't matter. Then she turns around and says, oh, you didn't have to do that. Unreal. Unreal. And then says, this is why I don't like to talk to you. I know exactly what you were saying. You wouldn't have brought it up in the first place. You outright said, see, this is what her first words were, see if they can take you early. Tell them you have a ride coming. And I didn't want to do it. And I said, I don't feel comfortable doing that. And she said, oh,